Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast, episode 114. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Good. It's Pro Tour LA. And we got spoilers.
Yep.
And we got Star Wars. There's a 220 person event.
Crazy.
People aren't just buying boxes, they're playing the game because it's super fun. And then
a little bit
magic is Amazonifying.
I like that. It's a good word.
It's a verb. It's a thing, and we will discuss it later. Because first, I want to talk about Fab and Pro Tour LA. We had a buddy there go and slap some people with a hammer on Bravo. Did real good in draft. The buddy that we did, I think we talked about it last week. We did a draft camp and then did 2 drafts in a day last weekend to help him get ready for Pro Tour. And it paid off because he did pretty well in draft.
Yeah.
Made it to day 2. And, beat Brody Spurlock. And he beat... Who else did he beat?
Bunch of people.
Yeah. Thomas Dowling. So he did... He was 13-0 on Dash.io. And our buddy Dima was on. Dima was on the podcast. If you go back and listen to... he's our local that goes to these big events and does well.
Yeah. I think we did a Bravo expertise sort of interview with him.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was.
We'll have to have him back on and talk about his experience at LA because it seems like it was a positive one. He did well. And then there was a bunch of other stuff shown off at Pro Tour, which is super exciting. Part of the Mist Veil. We got our new heroes, John.
I know. I'm a little baffled. I want to know more.
We got Chi.
I know they did it on purpose. They did it to get the hype.
So there's a new type of resource for the unique to the mystic talent. So maybe you have to pitch Chi cards to pay for things?
We don't know. Yeah.
I'm thinking
that's the mystery.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like for like Enigma, Ledger of Ancestry, and Zen, Tamer of Purpose. I guess all 3 of them. They have the light blue resource, so you have to pay a different type. So maybe the cards that you're pitching have to be, which kind of limits the cards that you can use for deck building.
Yeah, this is where I'm really curious about how this all plays out, because if it ends up being a needed slot to activate Chi, then it makes these skills a lot less interesting, I think. Because without this resource readily available, these heroes basically suck.
Well, they have a limited card pool. They can't go back as far and take advantage of previous.
Well, and this is why I'm wondering if the mechanic is actually different. If it's not just the resource is like our normal resources, if it's something like a timer, build a Chi every turn, or something like that. That's a little bit different, because if it's something that ends up replacing regular resources, unless Chi can be used as a regular resource,
I'm sure it can. It can be used as a regular resource, or that's what I would imagine. That's how I'm picturing.
These are the questions. We need the answers to this before we can really judge how this works. Because if it can be used as a regular resource, then that's not a problem. But how they balance this is going to be super critical. And then, of course, since it's associated with Mystic, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, how much does this permeate the rest of the game? Is there any other uses for it? What else is it? I mean, is this just going to be super locked down to these 3? That would feel really weird to introduce something so big as a new resource type and then just not have it.
Maybe it's a test?
It could be. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is where it's like, what are they actually doing here? I want to know. I need to know the details. Give me the deets.
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I need answers. The art's gorgeous, though.
I really like the borders. Yeah,
I love these full arts. This is so first time in a while I've been like, oh man, do I just do it? Do I just buy it? These full arts? It's gonna be too expensive. There's no way. But I love them.
Yeah,
they look so good.
Yeah, waifu tax is gonna be real.
Yeah.
First, we got new Alluring Desire, the Mystic Assassin hero. Your attacks with stealth get when this chain link resolves. Banish all action cards defending this.
Yeah, that's madness.
Seems
That's
pretty
so
good.
powerful.
And then at instant speed, you can pitch 3 chi. Look at the top card of an opposing hero's deck. If it's blue, you may banish it. Until end of turn, you may play blue cards from that hero's banish zone without paying their resource cost.
I don't know. This is crazy.
These are all 4 intellect, 40 health heroes.
Yeah.
Adult heroes.
That's so crazy. I don't know.
Because then next up, we got the Mystic Illusionist hero, Enigma Ledger of Ancestry.
Not Amira.
Not Amira. Your
It was
first
a different person.
Your first spectral shield attack each turn costs 1 less resource less to activate. And then once per turn instant, pitch 3 chi, create a spectral shield token with a +1 attack counter.
This feels like they know she's going to be busted.
Why is that? They gave her 40 health.
I agree, but create a spectral shield token with a +1 counter on it. That's it. That's the power. That's it. But I have
And
a feeling-
resource saving from the spectral shield attack.
Yeah, your first each attack. Yeah, so using your what is it called? The Iris of Surreality. Is that the Iris of something?
I'm sure
Iris?
that she's gonna have her own weapon though.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like they made her busted because this is probably the weakest looking power on face value of all 3. But the reality is, because we've seen this happen before in Illusionist, just busted. It's going to end up being like 40 attacks of 2, just to mess with everyone, and you can't let that go, right?
Yeah, and then we got the Ninja Mystic hero, Zen, Tamer of Purpose. Once per turn instant, no passive. Once per turn instant, pitch 3 chi, create a Crouching Tiger in your hand, search your deck for a card with combo, banish it, then shuffle. You may play it this turn.
This is what Katsu was always supposed to be.
Yep.
It's the Tudor blue style, in my opinion. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And Katsu is sort of that, but not as good as this.
This is what they were trying to build him as.
Yeah. They didn't want to give card advantage at that point. They knew card advantage is dangerous, and this allows card advantage. So,
right.
It's so good. It's so good. He does not need a passive. New and this are so good, and I have to assume that Enigma. I'm gonna call her Amira a million times. That Enigma is also really, really good. It just doesn't seem like it on the surface.
Yeah. So we have pre-release dates. It's going to be Friday, May 24th to Monday, May 27th, so that weekend. And then we have, right before that, we have the world premiere, part of Mistfield's sealed deck. And then on the 18th and 19th is the Calling, where there'll be sealed deck and booster draft. And then May 19th is the Battle Hardened, which is a sealed deck.
Wait. They're doing a Battle Hardened with this before it comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's weird.
The world premiere in Tokyo.
Oh, that's the world premiere in Tokyo?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So this is like the Vegas thing.
Yeah.
Like what they do with Vegas and was it Aria? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
But it's only that event. I was thinking there'd be battle hardens in multiple locations.
Right.
Got it.
Right. Then there'll
That's gonna
be
huge.
Yeah, I wish I could go. Tokyo's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
The expansion slot returns with 13 new cards covering a range of heroes and classes outside of the featured in part of the Mistveil. Replaces a token in around 1 in 15 boosters, so you're averaging about 1, maybe 2 a pack or a box. Card packs will have 2 token cards, or 1 token and 1 expansion, or 1 token and a legendary rarity card, or 1 token and a cold foil card. We'll have 1 fabled, 6 legendaries, 43 majestic, 54 rares, 123 commons, 12 tokens, and 18 marvels. Japanese product Japanese language product has one additional legendary and Marvel. So exclusive Japanese cards.
That's cool.
Designed for booster draft of 3 packs, sealed of 8 packs, and constructed play. There will be 8 iconic cards available in rainbow foil from eligible stores in like celebration promos of it releasing. There's a new Blitz deck collection. And yeah, we got part of the misfail. We got our information. And now we'll start getting
Such
links.
a tease.
It is a tease. It's like, here's enough to be excited, which is exciting. But not as exciting as 2 Dories in the top 8. There's 2 Dories. Josh Lau.
Mr. Chance. Could have been there. Could have been you.
Could have been a contender. Yeah. Good luck to Josh Lau. Unfortunately, the way the pairings worked, they were 4th and 5th. So they are matched up against each other. So one of the Dories is not making it out of the top 8.
That's right. That's
which is very sad. And then whichever Dory wins is either playing a KO or a KO. Kano. KO or Kano.
Both seem rough.
Yes. So, sad day. But then in the other slots in the top 8 are 3 more KOs.
No.
And 1 Dromai.
Okay, Dromai's still contending, huh?
Got in there.
How many times has Dromai been in the top 8?
A lot.
That's crazy.
2 Dories though, John. It's happening.
It's happening, Tommy. It's happening.
It's very exciting.
Well, best of luck to all the contenders.
Yeah. The breakdown was there were 83 KOs, 57 Dromais, 38 Victors, 35 Kasais, 35 Levia, 35 Katsu, 31 Azalea, 31 Kano, which is crazy, 29 Dory, 20 Bravo, 20 Dash, 15 Prism, 14 Azuri, 13 Arachne, 13 Phi, 13 Reinhardt, 13 Bolton, 7 Vincent, 5 Riptide, 4 Dash IO, 4 Viserai, 3 Teklevossen, 3 Max, and 2 Olympia. It's crazy how many different people showed up for Pro Tour. Or just the spread.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, seems to be like everyone's having a good time.
Agreed.
We got the KO Armory deck coming out. Got to look at that because we know last week we were talking about the decks and what they might be, and now we know.
Yep, KO's one of them.
Yep.
I have to assume Olympia will be the other one if it's only 2.
Yeah.
Because this fits.
Or maybe they release only one at a time. If they only release them one at a time, then you're just gonna have a bunch of the new players are all gonna be playing the same deck.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think they'll do that. Yeah. Honestly, that would actually be kind of funny if they did, though. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But no, I doubt it because James White in that interview literally hinted that a side type product would be the release.
Yeah, no, I know.
Payoff and in this quarter, right? I think he said this quarter. He gave a time frame. He made it sound very soon.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're going to have that. Now, do they release just KO now and then they release Olympia next quarter? Maybe they do it in a slow leak out. Very possible. Maybe this is just the first preview of 4 or 2 or whatever, But point being, products coming, and we do know that there will be unique cards in these products sometimes.
Yeah.
So, don't know about the limited supply thing, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that was confusing. But another exciting thing that was announced, we got a bunch more callings and other events added to the calendar. We have one in Portland, which is a city that I've always wanted to go to. I had a friend just move out there, have family out there. So may try and make that one work in November. May go to the West Coast.
Nice.
But yeah, anything else you wanted to touch on Pro Tour, Fab?
There's new cards that are tutors, and they're ridiculous. Did you see that? That
Which
was
one?
This morning, I think.
The one that came,
The the scalers and the scabbies tutors.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. It's like now, granted, I think their suspicion is they're not legal in tournament play.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So these were the
They're UPF
cosplay
cards.
rewards, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. The fabric of scales, equip Snapdragon scalers if you don't negate this. I mean, you can just grab some Snapdragons, and this isn't a one use. Like, what? There's cards where you can get cards and bring them back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe not, because I think there are cards that let you get cards and get them back. I don't know. We don't know how equip works exactly, do we?
Yeah. Yeah, with silver. It just means you slot it in.
From your sideboard?
Yeah.
So if you have 5 Snapdragon scalers, you can just keep Snapdragon scalaring?
Uh-huh.
That's gross.
Well, I mean,
again, not tournament legal, but the other one that I thought was most confusing, and one of the Discord people pointed this out, Venomback Fabric Legendary, so you can only have one of these, unlike the fabric scales. Equip Scab Skin Leathers if you don't negate this, and it's a generic action, so any class can have this in their deck.
What can any class equip it?
I don't think there's a rule against equipping something out of your class. The rule that limits class card lockdown is in deck building.
Right.
I know that because we had one of these situations before, and we were talking about, like, is that even possible? Blah blah blah. And one of the judges ruled or pointed out that the rule about what you can put in your deck is tied to that deck building. So if you can put it in there for whatever reason, then you can pull it in. Now, that said, again, not tournament legal.
Right.
So not sure it matters as much. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they build more stuff around this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy to have tutor cards.
Yeah. They're interesting. They're fun. Well, cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. You want to talk about some Star Wars?
I know you do.
I do. I built my Leia deck. I'm ready for Tuesday, switching things up. It's going to be fun. Yeah, so prices have cooled down. Like we said, we put out a video. Did that come out already, or is that coming out Monday?
I think it came out on Friday.
Yeah. About how prices are cooling. There are more boxes. Do not FOMO. It is here. There is plenty of it. Single prices are even coming down on your Vaders and your Bobas and your Lukes and your big expensive cards. But it does seem that the collectible stuff is kind of holding where it is. Like the showcases are either holding or going up.
As we suspected from the beginning.
Yeah. And it's weird because, like, some of them, because there are so many, I think, it's really hard to get the exact one. And so there are times where some are just not available on TCG Player. Like, Hera's currently out. Like, you can't buy one. Leia's gone out a couple times.
Of course.
She settled back close to... It didn't sell it. It sold it. It finally did get a sale at $4.99, so $500. And that seems to, you have two sellers, one at $475 and one at $500, but then the first non-0% store is $700, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just flipping through some of this now. This is pretty nuts.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still expensive. Vader regular unit is still $70. $75.
See, that's bad though. Because that's the playable version, right?
That's the playable version.
Yeah, that's bad.
But it's down.
This is going to be a little bit of a rough market, guys.
it's down from a couple days ago when it was almost $100.
I was going to say, yeah, if you can be patient, because
that's what I'm saying.
It's so hard.
If you want them to play,
constraints a bit of an issue for players, I would say. As a player, I would say take a moment, take a breath if you can.
Yeah. or play limited, because it seems like one of the things that is circulating, all rumors, of course, no confirmed, but what is, uh, you know how Fab kind of has the store shouldn't sell under mat kind of a thing. They are asking stores not to sell boxes right now when they get their new waves, and to save them for limited events. So more boxes.
Asmodee's asking that?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And so, or to not sell online.
That's not
so it may be a local thing. Like stores are only getting a couple boxes a week. They hold some for their limited event and then sell the rest as packs or whatever. And then because we know they are coming in multiple waves, it's not like stores will be able to order a couple boxes a week is what it sounds like.
Yeah, or it's probably like on a monthly basis, but whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, prices of boxes did move back up to 130.
Okay. But what was the bottom for that retrace?
I think it was like 119.
Okay, so it got down to that. That's the MSRP.
That's right? MSRP. It got to MSRP.
Yeah.
But it's still selling pretty healthily in the 130s.
Yeah, I'm looking. 119, 3 boxes sold.
Yeah.
Who knows what shipping was on that though? Could have been $10.
Right.
Because the sales around it were all in the 120, so maybe it never did get to MSRP.
Yeah, I know it did on eBay, but
you can't find that
anyway.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean it's a phenomenon. They did a great job on this release. A little bit too good.
I'm blown away by the number of people and the kinds of people that are showing up.
Yeah.
And because I've been pretty engaged in following the subreddits and local discords of shops and stuff like that. And there's so many. I'm new to TCGs. This is my first TCG.
Yep. It's good IP. It's simple and fun gameplay.
And it's
easy
been
onboarding. And they built the system to onboard people. Built limited, right? They, you know what I mean? They did a good job with their beginning product being a starter product in a way that pulled people in and have all the support needed, which is so hard to do. I mean, you really got to give them credit for that. To be able to design a product around multiple game structure play styles and collectability, non-collectability, playability. You know what I mean? That's not an easy task. They, like we said before, they checked all the boxes. They went through and said, what's the thing this one got complaints about? Okay. What's the thing this one got complaints about? And they basically said, we're going to make sure we do all these things.
Yeah.
It's wild. They did a good job with it.
Yeah.
I'm highly impressed.
Yeah. I mean, and again, you don't need Vader. You don't need Boba. I built Leia. It's a very good deck. I think it can beat both.
Don't tell people they don't need their playable cards. You know they want them.
Oh, sure, you want them. But what I'm saying is maybe you have the cards already for another deck. Play that for a couple of weeks. It's not like there are any major tournaments that you need the best deck for. And then see where things are at in a couple of weeks. Because I bet you they come down because the way the playable cards work, I think, is there's only a finite amount of people that want them. Obviously, there's a lot because of the price of them. But every day more and more people get them and are no longer interested in buying them, but there are still people wanting to sell them.
Yeah. Yep. It will slowly keep coming to market and the surge of demand will decline pretty rapidly as we see with any release. You remember if anyone has watched the market updates, the check mark, the down dip that happens post-release, that's the thing.
Right. But the stuff that's hard to find truly is hard to find, which is nice for collectors.
Oh, you mean the collectible versions?
Yeah.
The hyperfoil.
Hyperspace foil, regular hyperspace, yeah.
Regular hyperspace didn't seem to be too pricey.
On legendaries?
I mean, I guess it is on those, but
yeah, it jumps
everything
Boba.
Else it jumps to actually make a difference.
No. But it jumps Boba from 52 to 65. It jumps Vader from 70 to 100.
I got a Boba hyperspace. Maybe it was
that's the leader,
not the hero. Yeah, I
unit.
Can't remember. I think I got one that was a Boba that was a hyperspace.
You got the leader. The unit is 65.
The unit's the expensive thing. Okay, got it. Because you can play more than one.
Yeah, you play 3.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like I've formed a little group at my locals, because I've connected with a couple of guys that I enjoyed playing a game with, or we like
Are you guys gonna
played.
form a professional team?
No, very far from it. They are all very big Star Wars fans that are all new to TCGs, so I'm kind
Got it. Hey, it doesn't mean
of
you guys
helping
can't
them
get a
deck build
T-shirt and get going.
maybe one day. They all play Shatterpoint, so I may play Shatterpoint again with them.
What is Shatter? Oh, that's
This
the models.
miniatures, yeah.
Yeah.
And they play Legion. They're miniature
I was
Star Wars
talking to
people.
someone about that the other day and how you played the squad ones, and I was like, yeah, whatever happened to that? Oh, I know it was. It was the guy I played sorcery with. He was talking about how he once, like, he was a Warhammer person or is
Yeah.
into it to a degree, but he's like, I'm not anymore because it's too much space. Like, we are two like curmudgeonly old man's playing sorcery in the corner of our store. It is the funniest thing. I love hanging out with this dude, but we're of the same mindset in so many things. And we've played a lot of the same things. This guy has some of the original books for D&D back when it was called like Crusader Knights or something. Like one of the very first Gygax books. I think it's Gygax, or whatever the other author is that basically made all of gaming happen. I mean, we're just old nerds. It's really fun to hang out with him. Sorry, didn't mean to go on a tangent there, but that was one of those things we were talking about. He's like, yeah, I used to play it and I just don't have the space for it. I was like, me too. And he likes painting them though. He'll paint like little individual models.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. So pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it's fun. But basically, it seems like cards are leveling out. Playable cards are leveling out, coming back down to somewhat better pricing. Still crazy. I mean, that's still over $200 for a playset of Vaders. $150 for a playset of Bobas in just the playable version. But it's way cheaper than buying boxes. Still, it's still the right choice. But
yeah. Well, and again, you don't have to buy them right now.
No.
You can wait a few weeks. Heck, if you're patient, you can wait a few months. You'll probably get much, much better pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. But people are coming out and playing. There was a 220-person event in London. And so there was some coverage of that on YouTube, and there was...
Was it a money prize?
There's deck lists, product prize.
Product prize?
Yeah. $15 entry.
What was the first place award? 4
cases.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty good. I don't think I've heard of a tournament putting that much up in product.
Yeah.
I'm not super...
Let me see.
Super tied into those types of tournaments, but I hear about the awards every once in a while, like the 1Ks and whatever.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, and then we have the representation as well. 43 Bobas. So that was the highest. And the top 8 was all Bobas.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we kind of identified that.
Yeah. Then we have Sabine at 32. Darth Vader at 26.
She was my first call on the best in the meta. Before I even knew about Boba.
Aiden at 20. Yeah, his resource cheating is nuts.
Yeah, I did. I don't think I read Boba at that point. And once we read Boba and you told me about that, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely the move. Yeah.
Aiden in 4. Krennic in 5. 6 is Luke. 7 is Grand Moff. Chirrut, Admiral, Emperor, Han. And then other decks were 15. But yeah, it seems like Boba's the thing to beat, but it is beatable. It's very good. But also when you have that large of a representation, you're kind of going to see a large turnout at the top. But
of course. Yeah, of course. That's a factor. New game. Let the meta settle. Like, we don't need to make any judgments now.
Like, I tried all the decks that people have been saying are like the top decks. And then I was like, okay, I understand how they all work. And then I built Leia. And I think it does pretty well. I think it may struggle into... I think it's close to a 50-50 with Boba. It depends on how fast I can get out, and because it really goes against the grain of what they're trying. Because I play mainly 3 or less cost things, and
Mhm.
some of them gain benefit when they come back into play. And so his bounces don't really screw me up as much as it does other decks.
Nice. So there's deck tech. There you go, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Deck tech right here from Tommy's
Yeah.
top picks.
I mean, my
How
local's filled with Bobas, and I was just one of the Bobas last week, and I was just like, this isn't fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then, so I was just like, all right, changing it up for next week. And then I looked at everything, and I don't like Iden because we chose to switch to best of 1, and so we're not staying there until midnight. We actually got done in like 2.5 hours, and it was wonderful. I was home before 10, and the event started at 7. It's great.
It's nice.
Um,
I like how there's a local ruling of this takes too long.
Yeah.
Nothing else. This takes too long. We old. We want to go home.
Yeah. So it was going to be 3 rounds of 55 minutes or 3 rounds of 25 minutes.
Yeah, totally.
I thought it was going to be 4 with the amount of people that we had, but they stuck to 3. Because we had over 20 people again, which was good. But yeah, enjoying it a lot. Looking forward to this next upcoming Tuesday. And yeah, got my white deck box and my Leia all set, good to go. Looks awesome.
It does look awesome. Send me a picture of it. It's the products that come with it definitely.
Yeah, GameGenic did a good job.
Highlight the way it looks.
Mm-hmm. And people are even getting crazy and getting like 2 deck boxes so that they can do like their base color as the lid. So like interchanging the lids.
Oh,
and,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I dig that. I dig that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna get another deck box just for that, but it's cool. I respect it.
Yeah, it's styling.
I respect it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then someone posted, I forget if it was Reddit or a Facebook group, someone posted like the showcase boba in a black box and a yellow lid, and was just like rolling into my locals. It's just like, goddamn.
Blinged up.
Mm-hmm.
Showing off.
But,
hey, that's half the fun. Or part of the fun.
Yeah,
it's part
absolutely. But yeah, that's Star Wars. I'm still enjoying it. Still having fun. Don't FOMO in. There will be boxes.
There will be boxes. I think so. There is a little bit of, and one of the things you just said kind of makes me think it may be true. If they're specifically requesting stores hold back for limited, so people get limited play because the product's designed for that, then it does make me think that this, there's more boxes thing might not be as many more boxes as I thought originally, at least.
Yeah, that's I'm thinking that as well. I
think
prices,
not to counter FOMO, not to cause FOMO, none of that.
No.
But I just think it'll probably be less plentiful than I was originally imagining, which that's probably good. That means they'll be able to maintain MSRP instead of it.
That's dumping. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if you can get boxes around MSRP, that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think we'll see the $80, $90 boxes anymore.
No Amazon dump?
No Amazon dump.
Yet.
No.
Although it is available on Amazon.
It is. Yeah. The
buy from your local store.
Yes.
Assuming they're not marking it up crazy.
Yeah.
Don't buy from Amazon.
No. But yeah, just I think it's so important that there are boxes at LGSs for limited play, because I know a lot of people come to limited because they're not looking to get into constructed and they just want to play limited. And if you're not able to do that, that's a shame, because these boxes, like the limited experience, is designed so well, and it's designed so inclusively in that in how the leaders draft before you draft the actual packs, it gives players that are new to TCGs, which this game has attracted a lot of, a direction to go. You have a signpost to start on.
It's rails.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
awesome.
super, super great idea. We'll see. Some people don't like it, but I feel like that's just a bunch of curmudgeons.
Don't like what? The actual sealed play?
No, sealed is a whole different thing.
I mean, limited play?
Limited, yeah. Like the draft and the leader draft.
Why don't they like it?
Because it limits who I can play. It's like, yeah, but that's limited.
Oh,
They feel like
and are they new
they
to
feel like they
games
can lose in the draft.
in the pick? Oh, yeah, that's true, but that is limited. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it. That's
that's
just a complaint about limited
yes,
as an
exactly.
existing format. Yeah,
Correct.
it
Yes.
is. It does make it even in that it's whatever you pull and luck, and then from there skill.
Yes. Right.
But yeah, it
Skill
means the
only
best
matters so
player
much
could end up
when.
being a little screwed. It means the worst player may get a bomb
Yeah.
leader, and that means sometimes the bad players get some wins.
Right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
And they're
Exactly.
motivated to come back and buy packs and play again.
Exactly. Like I know someone that went 3-0 when we drafted on Jin, and Jin is awful.
There you
So
go.
it's not like you just lose; you're just bad. If you just
Yeah,
concede, if
you're behind. You need to
Yeah.
use extra skill to get ahead.
get good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get good, people, but get good.
Get better at not putting down a game just because it's trying to do something a little more inclusive.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, again, this is where I think they freaking nailed it on the design because it offers an onboarding, on-ramping situation for both new to TCG players and just players in general, and gives them a chance to have a win, which is the dopamine that they want when they play a game, that in the pool, right?
Yeah.
And that means they will be back. They will continue even if they lose the next 25 games. You know what I mean? Because they'll be chasing that I won once.
Yeah.
Even though it's just really lucky draw, I still won. I can do it.
Exactly. It's possible.
Exactly. It's not impossible. It's not forever out of my reach no matter what I do.
No. But it is true that it is being sold on Amazon, but not dumped. Not dumped on Amazon.
Yeah, it's
MSRP.
when you put in the taxes and shipping, it's the same price basically.
Yeah. But speaking of,
yeah,
you want to kick this off?
Yeah. So I'm gonna start it with, if you haven't seen Rudy's whiteboard video, it's worth watching. I just want to say I freaking called this months and months ago. Basically, just to lay it out as a premise, he goes into a nice long explanation. It's a good video, worth watching, about what's happening at distro. They've changed the models. This is Hasbro on Magic, and they're changing the way it's done. And he's kind of explaining how Fallout happened, what happened there. Because you know how everyone's like, well, it sold out immediately. We had none in our store, blah, blah, blah. It looks like they're waving it to Amazon. And Amazon is doing a price sensitivity exercise. So your LGS will get some. He thinks they kind of misnumbered it this time, but they're experimenting. He's saying clearly they're experimenting in this direction, so keep an eye out for it. But basically, to decrease the print run but keep the revenue same, you have to keep the price high, right? How do you keep the price high? What did Star Wars just do? Yeah, exactly. You limit the amount, the quantity. They're limiting the quantity, and this is only collector boxes. He didn't really talk about any of the other boxes. So, and I think this
it's only the collector and the commander.
Well, see, this is he's just talking about collector. I don't want to go into other things because it gets more complex if you do that. But collector box, basically, you put out a taste to the LGSs, right? Through distro. And the problem is, because you don't control distro, at least this is my problem, he didn't say this, because you don't control distro, they may have put a lot more in distro than hit the stores, because we know distro likes to hold things back. And it not a lot hit stores. Every store has said they were allocated heavily and only got so much, right? And that jumped up the prices because it was hard to get. And when the prices jumped up, then slow release of extra onto Amazon at the new inflated price, and rinse, wash, repeat. And that's how you keep the price up, the market sensitivity down, and essentially make the same revenue with less total boxes. His theory is they did it for Universes Beyond specifically because they were afraid of messing up other people's IP, right? Which we've talked about in the past. I think that totally makes sense. And that this is a future direction, one of those I emailed myself comments. So I assume this is true to a degree. We don't know what details are certain and what details are Rudy's theory and what details are from himself via email. Um, if you don't know what that means, it's a euphemism for some contact at Hasbro. He has that talks to him about what they're doing. Anyways, he's never claimed that, but that's obvious, like hint that he's giving. So yeah, this all kind of falls back to my theory from months and months ago. God, it had to be 6 months ago at this point, right? Amazonification and how Amazon does. The only reason I have sensitivity to this being a thing is because I studied this model and what they did. And they are not the first to do it, by the way. If you're familiar with the business case regarding Walmart and how they operated, grew, expanded, and then became a dominant force in the United States. They actually, I think they pioneered this model. I could be wrong on that. There may have been one before them, but they definitely did it the best when they did it. Now I think Amazon does it better than them, but basically this model is you go in, you undercut locals, you take out their market share, and then you expand into their market, and you have freedom to lift prices and essentially monopoly power, which is why Adam Smith said monopoly needs to be stopped at all costs. The founder of capitalism, monopoly defies capitalism; it destroys it.
Yeah.
So anyways, so that's the general model, and Amazon has been very effective at it. If you think about the Borders thing, I think that's what we talked about before. Is like Borders all shut down, all the bookstores, local small bookshops, all dead. All the cafe bookshops, all the used bookshops, even at this point, are pretty much gone. There's a few here and there, but they're mostly gone. They used to be at every town, and that's what Amazon did. Is they took out the retail store via the publishers and middlemen. By making deals with them and offering volume and getting better pricing. And what you end up doing is my computer just shut off. Sorry. I went to sleep because I wasn't touching the mouse. What you end up doing is basically you're able to corner the market by mass. And so I guess I should go a little bit into how Walmart did this. So what they would do is they get contracts with every single like food distributor for tomatoes. I'm just making this up. Any sort of product. They did this with everything. And by getting contracts with the majority of the market share, they could then dictate the terms of the market because they became the one and only place to sell your tomatoes. And that's what Amazon does. If you think about how every major brand now sells on Amazon, right? Because you have to.
Right.
That's what's happening now in the LGS world versus the book world or whatever. I believe I called this like 6 months ago. I was like, it looks like they've set their eyes on LGSs and they're hungry. And we speculated, is this going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And then after Amazon dumps stopped happening, everyone's like, it's not really happening, which I don't think is true. I think it is absolutely still happening. And it looks like ultimately what ends up happening based on, and this is the part where I don't know how they're going to navigate this. Based on history, when Amazon picks an industry, takes it over, controls the vendors, controls the inputs and outputs, basically upstream, downstream, then that thing disappears as a store. So bookstores, for example, there's a bunch. General stores, like you think Bed Bath & Beyond is probably a victim of this.
Sure.
There's a bunch of them. So question is, do LGSs get taken out next? Now, this is where there's a variance, and that is that LGSs are also a gathering spot to do the thing.
Right.
I don't know if that's a big enough defense. I'm not sure Amazon gives a crap about that. Actually, I'm sure they don't. I don't know if Hasbro sees it as a big enough problem to not let that happen, and or whether they're going to have a choice when the time comes, because that's part of this model is you become the biggest channel of sales so that you can demand what you want of your supplier, the supplier being Hasbro. And so if Amazon ends up moving 9/10 of the product through very careful modulated pricing and limited product flow, supply flow, which is that's what they do. You monopolize the flow of product. So they can do it very effectively. If they manage to become 9/10 of all sales to Hasbro, guess what? They say kill the LGS. Hasbro says no problem. Like whether they want to or not. They don't have a choice at that point because they will suffer deeply if they don't.
But do sales continue if you kill the LGSs?
I would imagine so. And that's where the data is a question. And there's other factors involved. And you have to determine like how publishers are going to view this. But again, at the end of the day, when Amazon came for the books, publishers bent the knee.
Yeah.
And like the publishing model for books and games is the same. Like there's not a huge difference between the two. So they will bend the knee is what it boils down to. So yes, it's a problem. It's probably harder to smash and own for Amazon, but I think they will ultimately get there. And he's not saying that in this video, by the way. But it does lead to that conclusion because the way he's describing the numbers and what he thinks LGSs are getting versus what distro is getting, versus what Amazon is getting, it really does feel like that's the situation. And if that becomes the dominant revenue stream, which based on his proposed numbers, I think he made up numbers, so don't take that as absolute. Right. But if those numbers are anywhere close to true, it will only take a few years before Amazon can dictate whatever the heck they want, and Hasbro will have to do it. And we've seen this happen. And again, I studied this particular business model in school, so that's why I'm familiar with it. I can go into more detail at some point, but I feel like I don't want to get in the weeds on the podcast because it will get too technical.
I mean, we're far enough deep into the podcast. If you want to go, I'm
it's essentially what I said. Let's just stick with I'd rather pull out some charts and numbers to show on a screen. Like maybe I'll do it during a market update or something.
Sure.
But yeah, so anyways, that is what they do historically. That has been very successful. Walmart was kind of the pioneer of doing it well. And now, it might have been McDonald's that started it. Now that I think about it, because I know they did that with chicken vendors, chicken farmers. Yeah. They ended up owning like something like 90% of all chickens in the US went to McDonald's at one point.
Holy crap.
I'm making up that number, but it was like huge. It was basically like every chicken went for chicken nuggets. It was crazy. It was nuts, right? And when they were able to get to that point, it caused consolidation underneath. So all the smaller farms became one big farm that owned a bunch of them. And then it became McDonald's essentially dictated how that big farm. I don't think they owned it, but it was such a tight integration that it's like if McDonald's leaned left, the chicken farm leaned left, and that meant all chicken industry leaned left. You know what I mean? Like everything followed suit because it was such a dominant player. But Walmart mastered it at kind of the local level because that was the one thing they were very good at, is sitting in a town and slowly gobbling up all local shops, hardware shops, whatever, until Walmart was the only answer, right, for 90% of your needs.
Sure.
And then, which is why there's a Walmart in every small town or within a certain mile of every small area in the U.S. I think it's everyone. It's a good chunk of it, which is funny. I camp all over the place, and camp can be in the wilderness.
Yeah, there's always a Walmart.
I know for a fact. I never even look. I know for a fact. When I get there, I can stop by Walmart and pick up X, Y, and Z. So I don't need to carry that with me. Whenever I'm like, oh, I'm out of whatever camping gear supply or whatever, I'm like, I'll just go to the Walmart because there will be one. Yeah. I don't even check. I've never been caught out without one. So it is that dominant. Anyways, I think Amazon's doing the same thing. I think we're getting to the point where it's experimenting, like it's not at the point where it's gonna crush it yet, but I would say give it 2 to 5 years depending on how difficult it is for LGSs or how important they are, I guess, for the ecosystem of the sales, not the game, because again, these corporations don't really give a crap about the game. I don't want to say that 100%, but they don't care about the game. I don't think they care about the players. They care about selling. That's their job. They have shareholders. That's what they focus on.
Think about it. For Amazon, these are small boxes, small expensive boxes that they can ship easily.
Yep. And they're probably getting a killer margin on them.
Yeah.
I bet they get better pricing than distro.
Yeah.
Because they're Amazon and they can push volume.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so that's what it looks like. We'll see what happens, and then the ripple effects of this, man. If we do start seeing the shutdown of LGSs across the country in a similar way we saw like Borders and whatever. Now that is one thing that is, I think, an advantage. Actually, thinking about this, I'm not sure. It'd actually be worth looking into. It's not a few large chains; it's a bunch of independently owned shops, right?
Yeah.
Um, Good news: one trick doesn't kill all of them, right?
Right,
Because they're
right.
different. Bad news:
A lot of them do tabletop stuff as well.
yeah, not a powerhouse to fight back. Like they're disparate, so they're not going to be able to like join together and
Right.
try to
right.
fight it. Whereas like Borders definitely put up a fight, because it was such a dominant chain. It was huge.
Right.
So I don't know how this plays out and what
You
this
wanna
ends up looking like.
you wanna take a dark rabbit hole future
Yeah, let's do
trip?
it. Dystopian me.
The Whole Foodsification of LGSs.
Yeah.
Amazon buys giant game selling company that already exists now. And then just all of these shops start turning into Amazon LGSs, essentially.
Well, that's actually
like
the
Whole
thing
Foods. Yeah.
I don't think can happen as it stands, because there isn't one. Like Toys R Us is dead, right? Who are they buying? Walmart? Like they're not buying Walmart.
No.
Where
No.
Target? They're not buying Target. Where else do you see this?
What do you mean?
Like that's what I was just saying. That's like LGS.
No, like
is a little bit of,
if the LGSs go down, these ones pop up.
but that's not a single purchase. This is why I say it's harder.
Oh, I see
That's
what you
the
mean.
part that's harder,
Yeah.
because it's not like I buy Borders, I own all the Borders. It's I buy this one, and each one's an individual with different pricing model, different structure. You can't like one size fits all it.
Yeah. I mean, eBay bought TCG Player, but what? There's
And
like
to be
Card
fair-
Kingdom, Star City Games.
Yeah.
Like
Circling
those
back,
big, yeah.
every small bookstore died with Borders too. So it's not
Right.
like it hasn't been done. So it can be done. It's just a different thing. So yes, it's even more interesting. And I don't know if they do this because they're so far down the path with Whole Foods itself. One of the things you're seeing a lot of, I think, is a defense against kind of the changing game market is pubs, like gaming pubs.
Yeah.
Imagine if all of the Whole Food pubs were suddenly gaming pubs.
Yeah.
Like that actually fits a very specific structure. But they've already redone a ton of them to be alcohol, like pubs or whatever, Whole
Yeah.
Foods pubs. So I don't think they'll go back and redo all of that, but I could be wrong.
I don't think they would do that for cards. I think it's too niche.
I don't think they do it for cards, but if this is a model they're chasing, like if say they are like, we want to do tabletop industry, we want to consume
Yeah.
it, we want to own it in the next 10 years, 20 years, whatever.
I mean, they
timeline.
do Warhammer, they do all the board games, they have everything an LGS has. Amazon.
It's an interesting concept. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, dark dystopian future.
Crazy.
Amazon owns
Wow.
everything. We all knew it was coming.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I hope not. I hope LGSs are around for a very long time.
Me too. And I think they will be to some degree or another.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they'll look like. It might not be cards anymore, because cards, I mean, they're definitely not taking out Warhammer.
No.
I feel like they already took out board games to a degree.
I mean, you can get Warhammer on Amazon, and they have deals on Warhammer on Amazon. They do dumps, yeah.
Oh God, maybe they are gonna take the whole industry.
When I was deep in Warhammer, I had notifications on for sales for Warhammer.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
yeah.
Because it's such a big singular brand.
And
I
those
did not.
big giant starter sets, you can get them cheaper on Amazon than at the game store.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Yep.
Oh boy, Amazon as the future of everything is not fun in my mind, but okay.
Yeah. So like $65 boxes of Terminators are $55.
I'm just gonna say it again. Adam Smith said specifically Don't let this happen. If you believe in capitalism, you don't believe in monopoly. And we as a country have allowed monopoly to get out of freaking control. It's the only reason that greedflation can exist is because you have a monopoly on pricing or an oligopoly on pricing. You can't overprice something and have people still pay for it if they have options. That's
But will
how
these
competition
giant
works.
companies ever actually be broken apart?
Well, that's my point is we've set up a regulatory scheme in America that defies capitalism, and we said it's because of capitalism.
Yeah.
And that was a gross misinterpretation of both economics of capitalism and the political structure required to maintain it. I don't know if it was intentional. It's probably out of ignorance because that's, we've done that many times, legislate something, and then we've been like, oh, that was a bad idea. It was Reagan, though, and he was very I guess corporate friendly is the best way to put it. So who knows that put that into place. So anyways, we need to address this oligopoly / semi-monopoly. They basically at that point, the judges under Reagan ruled ultimately, and I think it was something he changed that allowed this case to go forward. I believe it is. They basically ruled that if the price is cheaper, then that is beneficial to the public, and therefore it can't be considered monopoly, which is just nonsense.
Yeah.
Especially with these models that are literally built on falsely underpricing to destroy competition, which is the one thing you want to keep in place.
Right.
Monopoly, I mean, for capitalism to work. So anyways, whole rant there, clearly.
Well, the future is not today.
It is. So. It is not. It is not.
But it may be someday.
What games are you playing this week? I know you said you got some Star Wars. Anything
Star
else?
Wars on Tuesday. I may get to Red Caps on Thursday. Oh, not card related, but I downloaded the World of Warcraft Battle Royale thing. Oh my gosh, it is so much fun, John. It is so much fun. I haven't had fun in the WoW universe like this in a very long time. Probably since you and I played together.
Yeah, that was a fun pandemic journey into WoW.
Our buddy Lewis and I hopped on, and it's just instant fun. No one has an advantage. You gain your spells as you grow and you level, and then the world caves in like a normal battle royale, and then you fight to the death. And there's mobs to kill and stuff like that. It's fun.
So wait, it's not character dependent at all? You just jump in and play it?
Yep. You can in between rounds you can change what race you are, completely customize a new character. Yeah.
Wait, is this a separate game from
basically,
actual WoW?
Basically, yeah. You don't you log it, you download.
I did not
WoW.
understand that when you were explaining it to me. I was like, oh well, I don't have any characters I care about or remember how to play.
No, you just
totally irrelevant.
You do need a sub, but I just subbed for 1 month, and then you download WoW, and then on the character screen you just click this other option, and then it's right from there. You don't need anything. It's a whole different thing.
Then I may actually give it a shot.
It would be fun. It'd be fun.
Yeah. I did not realize
it is only solo or duos.
Back to the regular MMO account. I was like, there's no way I'm getting back into that.
It is, but like you have to log in with your old account. But.
Yeah, but I mean tied in as in like your character.
No,
your play,
none of that matters.
Stuff,
none of that matters. And it's only temporary. I think it goes till May or something. I think this is a test for something they're doing.
Planning down the road. Game they're probably going to release.
Yeah, because they canceled that other Battle Royale game.
And they need a money maker.
And it's original. They're all new spells. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. I'll give that a shot then. I did not understand what it was.
You can double jump now and like change direction. It's pretty good. But that's not card related, and we've gone down many rabbit holes.
We'll nerd out on things like this anytime we want. Damn it!
If you want
channel, we can do what we want to.
If you want to WoW Battle Royale with me, leave a comment down below. Maybe we'll find some time to have some fun. But
cool. Actually, on that note too, I believe a group of us are going to be getting into Spell Table Commander soon. It sounds like there's some people chattering about that. Basically, I'm like, when are we doing our next Magic? Because I keep building these decks and doing all this stuff, and then I want to test them and I want to play. And there was a response generally from some friends that are now very far remote that love Commander. And I was like, okay, so it sounds like that might be happening. It might be a chance to play with me in that, but that will be forthcoming. Like I'll let people know if we're going to end up doing it through the channel or not. Because right now it's in a separate group of just friends, local friends, or used to all be local. So. Sounds like fun though. I did look at it. I was like, oh yeah, spell table. I forgot that's a thing.
Ask them if they're interested in Twin Suns.
No. I will not. And also I know the answer. It's gonna be no. These guys are 30-year Magic players or whatever. Fair. I brought up Fab to them and there's zero chance I can get that. Sorcery, nothing. No, not even close. Yeah, no, they are obsessed. I was talking to him last time he was up, and I was talking about buying bulk and all that because that's what I was doing at the time. He's like, you want to buy bulk and come down and you'll have to take a car back because you won't be able to fly this much weight back. But it's like the 5-row big super boxes.
Yeah.
Dude has literally a wall of them, like dozens of them. It's insane the amount of cards. And he's like, it's all bulk.
Yeah.
He's like, you can come and take it. He's like, I never want to move all this again, ever. I was like, well, I wouldn't take all of it, but I could definitely take some of it. Now I don't even want any of it. Honestly, I'm kind of past the bulk era in my shop development.
Yeah.
So.
Fair.
Yep. Anyways, bulk is not interesting. Commander might be. We'll see.
Yeah.
Spell table
that sounds fun though.
Yeah.
We're
going to play with some people.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Oh, but I do have, I think including you, I might have 4 people interested in trying the Twin Suns on Tabletop Simulator, though.
Let me know.
We'll do.
You probably have to build my deck for me.
I'll build all 4 decks, and I'll make it super thematic. Like, it'll be Han and Chewie, Luke and Leia, Vader and Palpatine, and some other...
That sounds perfect.
Yeah. It's going to be fun and thematic.
Yeah, the decks. Like, let's see what goofy crap happens now.
I'm going to try and make them even. I am going to have no idea.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. And, that's even if you get wrecked. I mean, the politics plays into that. That's why I like the 4-player versions, because it's like I could talk to people and be like, I am not working. Can you give me a break for a minute? Like, let me get a chance to try to get myself together.
Exactly. So that'll be fun. I'll build them. We'll have some fun.
Yeah, totally. That would be a blast.
Cool. All right. Well, until next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.